What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Halftime Oranges podcast. We're here with me and my boy, Mr. J. Tell the people what's up, my guy. Tell them all.
What's good, people? We're glad to be back. We've rebranded,
With what?
so rebranded.
Rebranded. What were we branded
Yes.
to?
Next goal wins.
Next goal wins. Take this orange shirt off because we are now called what's known as next goal wins. Golden goal. We are the golden guys. Double G. Next goal wins. Let's go. This is it. This is where we started.
Yes, we are
New
next goal
beginnings,
wins.
new
Right,
season.
golden goal was
We're here
taken. We're
again.
next goal wins.
Yes, man. You're not as hyped as I am for this show. I'm disappointed. I thought the energy was gonna be there.
Only
Outrageous.
you've got the energy.
Only me. Nah. Today we're gonna show people what kind of energy Next Goal Wins is all about. So
All right,
let's
let's
get
go. Let's
today's
go.
topic underway. What do you think?
I'm excited. Let's go. We're going to be back like regularly now, so we'll
That's
do
the
it.
goal. We hope to give you more weekly content. Let's go with that. More videos, more content, more excitement, more energy, yeah?
More energy. Yes, I'll be
Yes,
energetic.
let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go. Let's
Okay,
go.
so basically, we're 5 games into this new season. We're maybe a bit late on what we're going to try and do now, but hey, better late than never. So, what I wanted to talk about is our predictions for this season and with the slight influence of what's already happened in the first 5 games. So, let's touch on the Premier League. What I want to ask first is who do you think is going to win the Premier League this season? We start off with a bang over question. Who's winning it this year? Tell you what, give me your top 3 of title contenders. Let's say top 3 title contenders, and we'll pick from them.
Title contenders will be City, Arsenal. Um, Liverpool, I suppose.
Well, so you were thinking about, you hesitated there. You were thinking about it. What was the other team on your mind?
People are going to call me deluded, but based on what I've seen, level on points with Liverpool, um, had a decent transfer window with some players to come back from injury is my boys.
Yeah, you don't think Champions League
Yeah,
football will hinder your progress in the Premier League?
I don't see how. I think it's an overrated English narrative. Like we had European football last season, which people say Thursday football is even harder, right? And we dealt with that. We've increased our squad depth a lot over the transfer window. Um, so I think we'll be fine. The only thing is, if maybe we'll tire out at the end of the season like we did last season, but we came fourth quite comfortably. We've improved, so I don't see why we can't, let's say, push Liverpool for third.
Fair enough. Okay, then on to who's going to win it. So these are the 3 you've laid out. Are these 3 you picking to win the
See,
Premier
I
League?
don't think Liverpool will win it. I think. Okay, well, let me touch on Liverpool first. I think what Slot has done with Gravenberch is really impressive, right? Um,
Unlocked
I've
him.
always liked him.
He unlocked him. He turned him to the player that he was at Gladbach, wasn't it?
No, it was at Ajax and then Bayern.
Fine. Yeah, sorry. Fine, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The player at Arsenal to be at our number 6, the tall, strong, present player that's going to sweep up the defense and start an attack, which is what our slot has really found out in him now.
Yeah, and not just Gravenberch, but also Diaz. He's revitalized him. When Diaz first came to Liverpool, I thought he was electric. I thought he had so much potential. He stagnated a lot in the succeeding 2 seasons,
I mean,
but
you've got
now,
personal reasons. His dad was kidnapped in Colombia for a while. That could do anything to anyone. So I always give
yeah,
the doubt. He's had a hard time, and he's
sure, that was last season,
goals
but
are
the
back.
season before, you know, um, but yeah, we'll see how long that can last. I hope it does. Like, it would be good. Um, but then the 2 main title contenders is Arsenal, City. One's the best defense, one's the best attack. It just depends, I suppose, who comes out on top in the games that they play against each other. Let's say if Arsenal win both home and away against City, then they could win. Because I think City will drop points.
Do you
Arsenal
think
have already
points
dropped points
because
against Brighton. I
do you
think
think
City will get a draw somewhere, it's
do you think
fine.
it's more down to it's one of those one-off games where something bad just happened and they conceded goals and they either lost or drew the game, or do you think City can finally go through a bad patch of games where they fall off? So something that you've seen also do the last 2 seasons, took control. There was a bad patch somewhere, and that's what cost them.
It depends what you mean by a bad patch. I'm sure. Look, I think there can be a point in the season where City lose like two games on the bounce or lose one, draw two on the trot, let's say. If you're asking me 5 to 6 games without a winning, then I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't think you need that. I think if City lose 2 games in a row, or in a 3 game stretch, lose one, draw two, that's what, 7 points dropped. That could be enough. That's a huge swing. Um, it's possible. Erling Haaland is on imperious form again, and I love it.
Two hat tricks
Um,
back.
I
That's
think
scary.
he's class. But then Arsenal have the best defense, and they look good for it. They've got so much depth in defense. I think they'll be fine.
But it's like
Um,
defense is what wins you the league or wins you leagues. And I said it as well. I think this is the best defense in European football because it's not just the
it
start;
is. It is.
it's the depth that we have there as well. You got the starting four as it is Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White. Then you got quality and depth, really good quality. You got Tomiyasu, Kivio, Calafiori, Zinchenko. You got the
Yeah.
youth as well coming through the right back. I keep forgetting names. I want to say it's Louis Scully, but I'm not entirely
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
And yeah, hey, you still have Tierney here too. That guy is still in the squad somewhere, just chilling, doing his thing. Maybe he'll come back
Vibing.
for
Yeah.
Carabao Cup game. Maybe he'll explode. You never know. But it's nice to see us finally fixing the problems that we've suffered from the last 10 years with managers who refuse to address the issues at the back. It's been addressed now, and I don't think you'll find a single Arsenal fan who's unhappy with what we have there. I personally think that it's it's so hard to predict because City didn't really recruit anyone other than bringing back Gundogan and Savinho. I'm pretty sure that was it. They let go of the likes of Julian Alvarez, who I think is a big player because he did get a lot of goals when he did come on. Yeah, he didn't start every game, but when he did come on or when he did start, he delivered. That's a loss.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of what we've gained is, I think the best defense now. You've decided to improve the midfield by bringing in Marino, who's really going to tighten up the sixth area. You decided to bring in Sterling, who's going to help with the offensive parts of our game. I think, but at the same time, I told you I don't think we're ever going to get a forward in the transfer market. I think it's purely because he was offered to us, and we'd be paying a third of his wages only. I think that's a very
Yeah.
good deal.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect deal for anyone and everyone. Well, not maybe Mason Chelsea, but for us, that's a great deal. You're only paying him 100K a week, and there's no loan fee, and you're not obliged to pay for
Yeah.
to buy.
There's zero risk to this.
There is exactly
There's
so.
only upside. The only issue with your squad is, especially with Odegaard out, there's no creativity. If you lose Saka as well, you're done for, to be honest. Um, I think that was the one thing you could have done. And when I say creativity, that doesn't necessarily mean you need another number 10. It just means some form of creativity within the squad. And that could have been a creative wide player.
Could be great.
Um,
I
yeah,
mean,
for example, I don't know. I think Juve just signed Francisco Conceição from
mm,
Sporting. Sporting also have a number of players like Pedro Gonçalves, you know, um, Francisco Trincao as well. There's a lot of good players that are creative as well. You were linked to Gyökeres, but someone creative who can play across the front line could be an option for you in the future. But as a whole, just because of how clinical Haaland looks, I'm gonna say City to win it, which
I,
is a change in my mind because before the season I did say Arsenal.
I've last season I stuck my chest out and I said it was going to be Arsenal. I had my reasons, but then I think key injuries let us down. I think for whatever reason, in the latter end of the season, we really drop off. I don't know why we drop off. So if it's a mental game, if it's fatigue, if it's this is a group of young players who can't cope with that many games so quickly. Maybe it's because the Champions League did affect us because the first time we've been there in 7 years, you've got a lot of inexperienced players who are playing in this tournament for the first time. Ifs, buts, and maybes. I don't know what this season is going to pan, especially with now Odegaard being out, our most creative player. We're lacking in a creative sense, as you said. I think it's City's to lose.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
see that
City's
too.
to lose and Arsenal's to gain. Really, I think that. And
Yeah,
I hope we also compete in other competitions. I said last season,
yeah,
finish
yeah. That's
finals.
true.
If you get into the semi-finals of the Champions League this year, finish second, but you gave City a good challenge all the way to the end of the season, and it was by fine margins. I'd accept that kind of season. I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans that demand success, but when you're going up against the best team in the world, it makes it really, really tricky. You only have to ask Klopp how tricky it was to only win one in that 6 year period when it was City versus Liverpool. It shows
Yeah,
how
yeah,
important it is, how hard it's going to be. And we're facing the final. This is where we wanted to be. We wanted to challenge. We are challenging. I say enjoy it. Enjoy it as long as we can because you don't know if it's going to last. You don't know if we're going to get better, if we're going to get worse. Sky's
yeah,
the
yeah.
limit for this team. I wish the best. Okay, let's move on. We've more or less talked about the top four. I agree with your top four. My question is, who's going to be in European spots? So the top six. I'll go
Top,
first. I think it'll be.
top six. What plus FA winner?
We'll come to the competition with this, the domestic trophies.
Because that'll
Because
be a Europa League spot, right? The FA
I
Cup
mean,
winner.
I think we should. Okay, let's say FA Cup winner first. FA Cup and Carabao Cup winner. I think it's going to be someone in top six for both. That's why I'm assuming
Yeah,
that.
sure. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll give top six then.
Yeah. So no order. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, and United. I think Spurs miss out. I think Spurs are starting to be sought out. I think Postecoglou is good, not great, good as a manager that he is. I think he's been very stubborn with his tactics, with his style of play. I think I think I saw it against Arsenal. We were there for the taking. I think had he had they had their finishing boots on, if you maybe try Son through the middle, because I think he talks to a lot of Spurs fans, they'll agree that Spurs Son on the left is not working as it used to if you play him down the middle. But then again, what do you do with Solanke? Unless you decide to play two up front, I think they're going to struggle this season with what they
But you
have.
said about your finishing boots. What can Ange do about that?
It's the same thing
He
what
can
happened to
only
us.
put the
Okay,
players
I
in the
tell you,
system.
it's the same thing what Arteta did last season around that December period where we lost to West Ham, we lost to Fulham. Remember at the end of December, we went through
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
where we weren't scoring. It was because we weren't playing bad in those games. We weren't terrible. We weren't absolutely shitting it. We just weren't scoring. We weren't finishing. I think you look at the plays. The manager has to do something, change something in training, change the coaching style, and it worked. How do I know it worked? Six against Sheffield United, six away to West Ham, five to Chelsea. The goals were flooding in. So this is what I mean by stubbornness. Is Ange not going back to the training ground and saying, "Look, we need to change something. We're finally going to stop putting goals in the back of the net."
Think as much as I like Ange, I agree he is being too
Mhm.
stubborn, but I don't see how you can put United in but Spurs out. I think both managers are being incredibly stubborn. I think both have weaknesses in their squads. There's not much separating them at this point in time for me. Um, so I think one will get sixth, one will get seven.
So you agree with mine, top six except for United.
Yours was City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, Chelsea. That's five. Um,
But if yeah, go on. I'll let you finish this, and I'm going to give you maybe a hot take.
I think I actually think the top four are pretty set. I think we can agree on that, right?
That's where my hot take was going to come in. What if I
All right,
told you it's not going to be Villa? It's going to be
who
Chelsea.
then? I Can't see how.
Really? Because I think
Yeah.
I've seen they've picked up recently, and
They
it's
have, sure,
they're starting
but
to link to especially their forward lines with
yeah,
Red.
they have incredible depth and quality there, right?
Even
But
Jackson is starting to find his form.
yeah, yeah,
And you
but
did
their
say as well
defense,
Jackson would be a lot better this season. He would be
yeah,
finishing
he
off
would
goals now, so
absolutely. I believe in him. But I know Villa's defense is questionable. Like the players are good, but we concede so much. But we are a lot more clinical than Chelsea. Whereas Chelsea, their defense is not great either, but they're not as potent attacking as us either. Um, I think the top four is set to. I think we will get fourth.
I say watch it.
Genuinely,
I genuinely think watch it, but I think Chelsea are going to find some. They've already found some form. I think because deeper they only lost the only game to City at home, which it's not the worst result for a team that's finished outside the tops. Was it they finished sixth last season? To if you're trying to progress and get to the top four, losing to the likes of City at home, it's not the worst result. As long as you didn't get pumped like a 4-5 nil, like most teams do, you take them. Since then, they've done quite well. Honestly,
yeah, sure. I think Chelsea will get fifth. Then sixth and seventh, I genuinely think it's a battle between
Spurs, yeah.
United, Spurs, Newcastle, Brighton. That
Would
those
yeah, okay.
um like Brighton, I love Hürsler. What he did in with St. Pauli. I think he's showed so much promise. Um and even with Brighton, I know it's early days, 5 matches in. They're winning as we record this 2-1 against Forest. Um I think he will do well. And with regards to United and Spurs, maybe it's a bit of bias, but I do want them to do relatively well. So yeah, I don't know. I think sixth and seventh is too hard to call for me.
It's a tight race, but that's what makes the Premier League so exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go on to another category, which I think you find very interesting. Who do you think is going to be the league's overachievers
You mean team or player?
team? Which team?
Overachievers. So in respect to their own expectations, right?
Yes, exactly.
Then I would say, hmm,
I think this one's a really tricky one because I think where you expect teams to finish, they will most likely finish. It's very hard to think of an overachiever this season. Most seasons won't like this, I think.
I'm just going to go for Brighton because I think they're expected to finish mid-table, and I think they'll fight for European spots.
Yeah, but in my case, it would have to be Chelsea then, because I think there's a chance they'll finish fourth, which would be overachieving for them, especially since most.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of those ones. Okay, who do you think is going to be the league's underachievers?
Um, I think I don't think they should be considered underachievers, but I think they will, based on how were speaking about them in the summer and at the end of last season. One of my shouts is Palace
Ooh,
because there was a lot of
my
hype. Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
You're gonna lick my boys like that, huh? My local
There,
boys.
there was a there was a lot of hype when Glasner came in, and the form they were on, and it was good. But they've lost Olise. Um, Gehi does not look great at the start of the season. Maybe the transfer rumors got to his head. Who knows? Um, Kamada hasn't settled in yet.
Yeah, I'm unsurprisingly.
Um, Eze looks like no confidence. Um, which I don't know why, because he's a good player. Um,
He has a
he's a
chance
creative
to
player Arsenal could have gone for. But
without
yeah.
he has every opportunity to be the guy there now. And I expect him to take it. With time though, I think you got to be
Yeah,
patient.
but lack of confidence and injuries. Who knows what's going to happen?
My,
Um, the other underperformers, in my personal opinion, so far anyway, West Ham.
I was gonna say that was West Ham. I think over the summer that they had, the players they brought in, the form the likes of Kudus is in, they
Right.
have started quite poorly. They have really
They
under.
had an amazing summer. Look, they've got Kudus and Bowen, who are great players, honestly. Then the summer they brought in Fulkrug, they brought in Guido Rodriguez, they brought in Max Kilman, they brought in Todibo, they brought in Wan-Bissaka, they brought in Somerville. Those are some
Great signing,
good
great
players
West
all
Ham.
around.
Honestly, for West
Like
Ham,
that,
I'm thinking
two
finally.
new starting centre backs, a DM, an exciting young winger, a right back, and an experienced striker who should be starting. I don't know why he's
I don't
not.
know if I thought Cook is starting as well. I was thinking, how come this? Same for Germany. He doesn't start for Germany either. He
No,
looks like,
he does start sometimes for Germany, but that's understandable because Havertz is in good form.
mm,
But like he's competing with Antonio. Antonio has never scored more than 10 league goals in a season, which I didn't know that, but it's actually piss poor. And his current run of form in his last 40 games, I believe he scored 11 goals, which is really shit. Um,
it's just,
It's really bad. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it.
and
It's
yet
really
he's
bad.
starting for Cook. Right? Yeah, it's crazy, man. But
So they
that's
spent,
crazy.
yeah, they look, Fulkrug is not young. As a player, I don't mind them signing him, but they overpaid for him big time. When I saw the offer, I was like, Dortmund have to accept this. This is ridiculous. Like 35 million for like a 32-year-old striker who's quite limited. He is just a lump in the box, right? I was like, yeah, it's very good money. Um, but they should start him. Like they don't have time to waste with him, you know? Like
Mm,
they got to use him now, otherwise what's the point of signing him?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I don't really know what's going on. I think people expected Lopetegui, you know, he's managed Sevilla, Real Madrid, that he'd be good there. He's not much of a stylistic change from Moyes. He's very defensive. So I'm still looking good for West Ham right now, in my opinion.
It's gonna be a tough season, which it shouldn't be for them. But it's like I said, still early in the season. They could pick it up. The players could gel, and they could find themselves in the top half, if not maybe the top six. Who knows? Um, Next one is first manager to get the sack. I think, and I've been saying it for a while now, Sean Dyche. I think Everton have been exceptionally poor this season. To go 2-0 up at home, was it at home? I can't remember if it was at home. Anyway, to Bournemouth, and the last 8 minutes to throw the game away is piss poor. It's shocking. And I said at the beginning of the season, I think they're going to be one of those who are going to be fighting relegation yet again. And it's not going to be because of points deduction. They're just going to be playing really bad football. I think the loss of Onana has hurt them and is going to continue to hurt them. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you cannot rely on this guy up front. I think there's a player there, but he's just too inconsistent with his form, with his fitness. I think you need to start thinking about moving him on and bringing someone else in. Hot take. Maybe you should have gone for Eddie Nketiah. I think he would have got you at that many more goals than Calvert-Lewin is, and he would have played that many more games. And I think the fans have lost faith in him. And look, it's not like you can't do better. Hell, not too long ago, they managed to sign Don Carlo Ancelotti for a season. They couldn't afford him in the end. That's their own fault. But it shows that they can attract a good manager, a manager who can compete with Liverpool. Maybe not beat them to a title, but last season they did beat them, finally, after how many years? So it can be done. But I think it starts by getting rid of Sean Dyche. And I think he will be the first to get sacked.
I do like Sean Dyche. Um,
I do too, but only at his Burnley days. I don't think he's.
well, he's been there for like 9 years. We haven't really seen him other than at Burnley, right?
I mean,
I
not.
think
Don't forget. Remember, he too did take Burnley to Europa League. He did.
he
So it's
took
not like
Burnley
he's
so
good.
far,
I just don't think it's working here.
but I just don't think it's his fault. I really don't. I think their squad is disgusting, to be honest. It's really bad. Um, Calvin Lewin is he's rubbish. He's bad now. Um, who else? Jack Harrison. not the same as under Bielsa at Leeds. Who's there? Dwight McNeil is who I'm on about.
Michael Keane at the back. I think 80 million United were going to go in for him once upon a time. I might be wrong in that.
They're just poor all round. Godfrey's gone now. Mikolenko looks naff.
A shell of what he
Um,
wants. Attacking fullback, just hiding in that corner.
it just they shouldn't be in this relegation battle because they do have better players than the likes of Southampton, Ipswich, and who else came up? Leicester.
Southampton, Leicester, yeah.
Uh, but they could be relegated. And it'll be sad to see, especially in their new stadium, because it looks like a impressive
A
stadium.
very nice stadium, actually, yeah.
Um, so yeah, Everton could be, but I don't know. I think people kind of expect them to be in a relegation battle.
Who do you think is going to be the first manager to get sacked? Do you agree with me? It's going to be Sean Dyche?
Um, no, I think it will be um, O'Neill.
Wolves.
Because
Yeah, not looking good so far.
they're bottom.
I mean, it's right. Like I said, it's 5 games. It's okay at first to be sacked, but it's very rare after 5 games, and especially with who he's been up against: Chelsea, Arsenal, tough games.
Villa.
Villa as well. You're playing three of the top six, which it's not always going to be easy. So
The
benefit as well.
problem is with them is they also do not have quality.
Cunha,
Um,
I like Cunha.
Cunha is not a clinical player. I've seen him at Leipzig a lot. I saw him at Atletico. He's
I,
kind of nothing.
I think he's a good striker. I think he's good.
They've lost Kilman now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who they replaced him with.
Never.
Nori is not good, and Nori is not a fullback. He cannot play as a left back. He has to play as a left wing back. And since they've moved to the back four, it's just exposed them. Hopefully, for their sake, they will go back to a back five, and Nori can shine a little bit more. But I just I don't think they've got anything. Even like I liked Huang, but he doesn't provide anything, and I don't think.
Looking good for them. So let that smoothly takes us into who do you think will be the three teams to go down? I'll give you my
Um,
I'll give you my three. I think it's going to be quite similar. I think it's close to what it is right now. I think Wolves, Everton, and Ipswich.
no. I think it will be Southampton, Ipswich, and I think all three Premier teams will go back down.
Do you think they still go down again? I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think they have enough to. They'll be fighting relegation. I have no doubt about that. But I think it will go down to the wire, and I think Leicester will be able to survive. I think even Southampton, by the way, I think they'll reestablish themselves as a Premier League side once again. And it
Do you
starts this.
think?
I think so. I like their defense. Harwood, I think he's a good player, for example. I think he's going to step up, and I think they'll survive. I'm not going to say they're going to do well. I'm going to say they're going to survive, and it will allow them to push on to next season.
The thing is, they so far this season they've relied on Vardy, right? Vardy's old. Last season he started 15 games, right?
Mm.
That is the lowest he's ever started in a season since 2013, right? That's over 10 years ago. He's played so little. They cannot expect him to play the full Premier League season because he won't last. Um, Daka is not proven in the Premier League. He's never done it. So they got Edouard. Maybe he can do something. Um, their bench is quite disgusting. Like the last game against Everton, they had Oliver Skip on the bench, Ricardo Pereira on the bench, Hamza Chowdhury, Decordova Reid, Connor Cody, Edouard, Fatuwu. Who of them is going to provide anything? They brought in Jordan Ayew.
Mm-hmm.
He's awful.
And
I've
if
seen him
not,
at
I
Villa.
think us Palace fans, they're not necessarily going to miss him, but they liked him. And I liked him when he was at Palace as well. Good player, good on his feet, strong attacker. Sometimes you need that. And don't forget, he did score one of the best goals. Okay, not one of the best goals, but I don't know if you remember the quality goal where I think he did a roulette, goal ball, and he flicked it over the keeper. Don't know if that rings a bell. So there's quality in that player. But maybe it was Palace's time to let him go because of age. So it came to no surprise that
No,
Leicester.
Palace were good to get rid of him, but why the fuck did Leicester sign him? He's not at the level.
Well, it's Premier League level. That's what you. And I don't blame Leicester for going in for that kind of player. And
I
what's
don't
he?
think he is Premier League level.
I think he is. I use the Premier League level. Like Palace, for the last 3-4 years, have not necessarily finished in the top half, but it's always been in the top part of the bottom half, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so they weren't really fighting relegation, but then again, they weren't really fighting for a European spot. They were just in the middle. That's Premier League proven kind of level that they can stick it in a mid player, not great,
Yeah.
not bad, mid.
Yeah, and I don't think Ayu did anything there.
I mean, it's going to be difficult for Leicester to get a good Premier League player, isn't it? Especially since they've been promoted. So to get that level of player from the Premier League,
Yeah, no,
I
no.
don't think
My point is they could have experimented with someone younger from elsewhere. They
it's
don't
good,
have to go for
but
Premier League
it's
food.
more safer, I guess, and less risk if you go for one who's already done it.
But what
Especially
is the safe?
first season.
What is safe there? Like they've gone for someone who scores maybe 4 Premier League goals a season. What is safe there? What are you achieving with this experience?
Maybe he fits into their system. I don't really know how Leicester City works now, especially since they got a new manager in. Raska's gone to Chelsea, innit? So, new manager, new system. Maybe he's gonna fit. That's for them to find out. But let's. So, who's your final three relegation? Did you say?
Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich.
So that yeah, you said those who came up will go straight back down.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what we want to talk about the Premier League. But like we want to keep these podcasts not too long. Let's touch on the other top four European leagues. We're just going to go through a list of who we think are going to be the topics that we just mentioned. So let's start with La
the
Liga.
Bundesliga.
Bundesliga. Okay, Bundesliga. Okay, sorry. I think did I mention something? Yeah, I did miss something. Top goal scorer, really quickly. Because I really quickly because I think we both know who it's going to be.
You need to say it.
Haaland, man, it's going to be the Norwegian Viking up front leading the line, who's already got back-to-back hat tricks in the Premier League. I don't think it's going to be anyone different to that kind of player, to that kind of striker, to that kind of killer in La Liga. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've
Simple as
got.
that.
Let's just go quickly. Who do you think is going to be second? I think it'll be Ollie Watkins. I think he's going to reclaim the second spot. I think he'll come back. If not, no, I'm sticking with Watkins. I'm sticking with Watkins.
Salah. It'll be Salah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Bundesliga. We all saw what happened last season. A team that became invincible for the first time in Bundesliga history, for the first time in a while in one of the top five leagues. The last one was, of course, the mighty Arsenal in 04. Do you think it's going to be any different this year?
I mean, I think Juve have been invincible since then, but we'll ignore that. Um, what was the question?
Who do you think is going to win the Bundesliga?
I think it'll be Bayern.
You think this is the year?
Leverkusen have already lost one, drawn one.
Would you put it more down to the lack of competition there is now in the Bundesliga? Because I don't think Bayer Leverkusen are going to be at the same level, at the same intensity that they were last season. Every team falls like that. They when a team's like a Bayer Leverkusen or a Leicester City finally reaches the peak, more likely, more often than not, the next season, for whatever reason, they're not as good. They go down. Maybe not so bad down, but they do dip. And that dip could be what makes them title challengers to a team that's just fighting for top four. So that's why I lay it down. Is Bayern Munich going to be winning it this year because of the lack of competition?
No, I think Leverkusen will still compete. I think Dortmund too. They didn't both neither of those teams strengthened how I wanted them to, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Bayern have exploded so far this season. They've played 4 games, scored 16. Um,
Incredible.
yeah.
And
uh,
yeah, I don't know.
but again, Dortmund have drawn one. Leverkusen have lost one, drawn one. So let's just see. Maybe like if Dortmund win today, then they can go 2 points behind Bayern. I think Bayern will win, but I don't think it'll be super easy. Like I don't think they'll like win it by March. Let's say.
I also believe that Bayern Munich are going to win. I think they've shown enough for me. The number of goals they're scoring. Crazy enough how they managed to get rid of De Ligt, a top defender, young defender, who looks like he would have only gotten better. Got rid of
Yeah, right.
Mazraoui, which I now believe it's caused Kimmich to go start playing at right back.
No, it was because we had Bowie there, who was
Mm.
basically going to be our starting right back, but he's injured now. So it looks like yeah, Kimmich will play right back for now. You've also got Conrad Lima who can play there, Stanisic who can play there. But against these kind of smaller teams, Kimmich will be there.
Really quickly, happy with company, how he's doing so far, what he's
So
done,
far, yeah,
what it looks like he can do for this club.
yeah, yeah. I'm a lot of people were hating on this move, and
Because
I
let's be honest, he
understand
hasn't
it.
achieved anything prior to this. If anything, he's been not great, not good, not even okay. Okay, maybe at Burnley because he helped them promote into the Premier League, which he did very well actually. But in his stint at France, not great. In the Premier League, really not great. No
I
pedigree.
think why I'm not so disheartened by it is because that's what I know what situation we were in. It was a mess in the summer. It was a crisis. We went through 6 different candidates. You had Alonso, Flick, Nagelsmann, Glasner, Schmidt, even De Zerbi. Uh, we sell on company for whatever reason, but at the very least, he is saying the right things. Um, he genuinely looked honoured to be there, and the play style is good. So at the moment, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to be behind him.
Top four. Or was it top five? It's
Bayern,
five, isn't it?
top
German.
five for the Champions League, yeah.
Yeah, top five.
I think it'll be Bayern. I think it will be Leverkusen. No, I want to say Dortmund. I'm going to say Dortmund second. I'm going to say Leverkusen third. Then I'm going to say Freiburg fourth.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
And I'm going to say Leipzig fifth.
That's more or less what I have. I have um, Bayern, Leverkusen, Dortmund, Frankfurt, and Leipzig. I don't know what order it will finish in, but I think that'll be my. But you know better than me in this case, so I'll let you. I will go with what you said. Um,
I mean, yeah, Freiburg played well last season. They did good, and they're continuing this form so far. So I got to back them.
I'll let you decide these two. Who are your Bundesliga's overachievers and underachievers?
Overachievers. Well, so far, Union Berlin are looking great, especially because they did so shit last season. But I don't think they'll maintain this. Overachievers based on their resources and expectations. I want to say Freiburg again.
Mhm.
Underachievers is a bit more difficult. I am going to say, I want to say Leverkusen.
I was thinking that as well because you just won the league. What's the next step?
It's not just that.
So it makes
It's
you.
about like I don't, if they finished like Champions League spot this season, that in itself is not a disappointment because I think people expect Bayern to win, right? But I think I genuinely think they could finish like 15 to 18 points behind Bayern this season.
Mm.
And I think that level of drop off is disappointing, especially because you're invincible. I don't think they did anywhere near enough to strengthen the summer. Um, they didn't really sign a starter. I always think you should sign a starter every summer. Um, and then obviously that previous starter would go on the bench, and I think that's how you improve. But they just haven't. Um, Even the bench options they signed, it wasn't like the summer before. They brought in Grimaldo, they brought in Boniface, they brought in Xhaka, Teller. There were a lot of good signings this season. Not so much. It's disappointing. Um, they are in danger of finishing outside the Champions League spots, which I hope that doesn't happen because I want them to keep this team together as long as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, that's. Who is going to be your Bundesliga's relegated sides? They usually do a playoff, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go with your.
So the bottom two get relegated, and then 16th place will play a playoff with the third place team in the Bundesliga. So I'll just give you my bottom two. How
Yeah,
about that? I think it will be Holstein Kiel. Um, you know what? I'm again just going to go for the promoted teams, Holstein Kiel and St. Pauli.
yeah,
I
okay.
still think they got
I don't
enough.
know anything about this. Is the first time I'm hearing these two teams. Never heard of this. Is like one of the first times they've been in the Bundesliga. They've been in it before, years ago maybe. Because I've never heard of these two teams. What?
They, I think St. Pauli, I think it's their first time in Bundesliga. But they are a Hamburg-based team.
Mhm.
Um, a lot. They were kind of like social media famous on like FIFA a few years ago because they got the skull and crossbones emblem and all of that stuff. They're like the hipster's choice.
Let's see.
Um, yeah, I just don't think they've got enough.
No.
Like the bottom of the Bundesliga is extremely weak, to be honest. It's quite disgusting down there. Um, but I think those two are just too weak for everyone else.
Okay. Um, First manager to get the sack.
In the Bundesliga,
No, in the South African League. Yes, the Bundesliga. Stick to the topic.
this is a tough one. Um, hmm, I think it will be because Bundesliga don't really fire their managers that quickly, right?
I remember you showed
I'm
me, I
going,
think, 16 or 14 of the Bundesliga teams are going in with the first, or they're with a new manager.
yeah, yeah. Traditionally, Bundesliga managers don't sack them. Bundesliga teams don't sack their managers, but yeah, last season, yeah, 14 of the 18 teams are new managers. But I think it will be Gerardo, how do you say his name? Sione for Gladbach,
Mm.
because they are a big team, and it's not his fault that they are like 14th, I think. Um, but they're just not picking up, and I think they do have slightly better players and where their league position suggests. So I just think it will be him.
And finally, the top goal scorer. I think I would agree with what you're about to say.
Again, do we need to say it? It's going to be Kane?
It's the Harry Kane himself. Yes. With
He
his
is now. He's been
still on.
there for literally 39 games, and he is already the highest scoring Englishman in the division ever. He
Yeah.
scored 41
I
goals in the
saw that one. Yeah.
Bundesliga.
More than
Sancho,
Sancho and the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Owen Hargreaves.
No, not Hargreaves. There was another player. So I think Sancho was second and this player was third. I can't remember his name.
Um, um, is it an old player?
Yeah, like I've never heard of him before.
It's you've never heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of him before. Like I saw the name, I was like,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know who he is.
say, was it Keegan?
No,
Because he played for Hamburg, right?
yeah, but it was a name I've never
Um,
seen before. Like, I've never heard of this Englishman before, so it must have been years,
let me Google it real quick.
maybe before my time. But to see Harry Kane win it again, I've been saying it. It doesn't surprise me. He's a player who deserves a trophy. He's a player I look at and think Spurs wasted the how many years they had with him to go on and win something big, even if it was a Carabao Cup, because unfortunately, a player of that caliber, a player of that quality, you can't replace. It's the same way I don't think Liverpool will replace the likes of Salah. They're going to find it very
Yeah,
difficult. We never replaced Henri. We've come close to, but never really replaced the likes of Dennis Bergkamp or a Patrick Vieira.
yeah.
Replacing big players is not easy. The fact that Harry Kane is doing what he's doing is not surprising.
Tony Woodard, I think you're on
That
about.
was it. That was the name. Never heard of him. Have you heard of him?
He's I've never heard of him. He scored 30 goals in the Bundesliga. I
Yeah,
don't know who
never,
he is. But yeah,
never.
Kevin Keegan is now fourth. So yeah,
That makes more sense. Okay. Um, yeah, great. Let's move on to the next league. La Liga. Who do you think is going to win it?
I think we Barca.
You think because of the start they've had, or you think that Real Madrid have dropped off? Because I talking to Real Madrid fans, they constantly tell me how unhappy they are with the football that they're playing on the field, despite the number of superstars they have in their team.
I just I do not. When have Real Madrid ever played good football? Tell me.
You don't
I
think so?
can't
Even
remember.
when they won the three-peat of Champions League.
No, no, I refuse. No,
Damn.
they've never been like ultra attacking or exciting. Under Zidane, they were functional. That was it, and it was very undeserving that three-peat of the Champions League.
Oh, damn. That's a hot take, man. You're gonna say three
It
Champions League
was
was undeserving.
absolutely,
That's very difficult to do.
yeah, it's difficult, but it was undeserving. They had in that Champions League run, they lost. It was a two-legged games, obviously. A lot of those they lost, like one of the two legs. Like they actually lost 2-0 to Wolfsburg. Um, in and amongst that, there was that Bayern controversial one,
When
which
did
is
that turn off?
Vidal got sent off, Javi Martinez got sent off, Robert Lewandowski had two goals chalked off for offside, which were legitimate. Ronaldo scored two offside goals. It was it was a disgrace. Um, and then what? Anyway, but this Barcelona team is not as good as Real Madrid's team. Let's be real. But I think Flick is an elite manager. I think Lewandowski is still good. I think Yamal looks incredible. Actually, I saw his goal on the weekend. It's it's just such a good fit. It's not like a worldy goal, but he takes over. He takes a long ball down. He cuts inside and he hits it hard and low to the near bottom corner. It's just so good.
It's the same
He's
thing against on midweek against Monaco. Don't know if you saw the goal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Came inside and a low shot to the keeper's near post. And
yeah.
when
I
he
just
hits
think
the near
he's
post, that's
quality.
an incredible finish because keepers should not be being beaten at their near post.
It's because he's expecting to Lamar to, as most players do, to like bend it far
Mhm.
post, right? So he's wrong-footed and he hits it near post, and it's just a very good finish. He looks so mature for his age. Um, I hope he doesn't get any injuries because I do want him. You know,
He's
I don't
17.
want him too
Let's
badly.
still like that. Top four.
Yeah. Uh, Barca, Real. No, I'm changing my mind.
Oh,
Barca, Atletico, Real.
it doesn't have to be in order, but I'm guessing this one is.
Yeah, I'm doing it on also. Barca, Atleti, Real. Um, fourth, I don't really know. I'm just going
I mean, based
based on
on
the players I know they have. I'm going Athletic.
Bilbao, I mean, they're doing well. They're only a point behind Villarreal, who are in fourth. I
Yeah,
think,
but just based on the players that they have, I think they have some. Well, we know the two brothers, Iñaki and Nico Williams, right?
yeah, of course.
Um, yeah, I just think they'll do good.
Um, who do you think will be the three teams to get relegated?
Uh,
Not really too
to be
sure
honest,
because bottom half of the table. But as of now, Valencia are currently in there, which is quite surprising.
well, they've been bad for. like 2 decades now, right? Um, I think Las Palmas will go down because I think they just got promoted, right?
Yep.
Um, to be honest with you, I can't really give you more than that.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with our league's bottom half of the table, but
No, neither am I.
Palmas, as you said, is currently bottom. And then you have the likes of Valencia second to bottom, and then you have Getafe. All I will say is that I hope Valladolid don't go down because if they
I
were
think
to,
they will go down.
I think it would be quite disappointing because we have a keeper, our keeper playing for Valladolid, Carl Hein, who I think is a good keeper, by the way. I think he showed me a lot in the preseason how really I want to say top quality because he's very young, but he's someone who has potential because he's doing all the basic things right. Distribution superb, by the way, very very good. Shot stopping, what he should be doing. So I can only see him getting better, especially as a keeper. You know what they say: they age like fine wine. The older they get, the better they should be getting. Even in the late 30s, they're still performing at a high level. So hey, I think he's got plenty. He's showing signs. He's definitely showing the signs.
Yeah, sure.
Um, who do you think is going to be overachievers and underachievers?
Mm, overachievers, I think you've got to say Barca, right? If they win the league, I don't think anyone expects that. Um, and by that basis, under, I'll say Real.
Yeah, I completely agree. If we're saying, if especially if you're thinking Real Madrid will finish third, that's a massive gap in the expectations that they have, which is to win La
What
Liga. And
What do you think the top four will be?
I think it's going to be Barca, Madrid, Atletico, and Villarreal.
Okay.
I think it's unchanged. I think it would. I don't. I think the top four race will be more entertaining than the race for the La Liga title because you've got so many more teams that are gunning for third and fourth spot. So I think it will be an interesting fight. Who do you think will be the league's top goal scorer? I think this will be an interesting one.
I think it will be just being Mbappe.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Mbappe is going to take that award with ease. Well, not with ease. Lewandowski will be close behind, but you know what Mbappe is about. He's a goal scoring machine. Let's move on to the Serie A. Who do
What do
you
you think
think
the top four will be?
for Serie A?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think Napoli, who are doing um, quite well actually. I think it's going to be Napoli without the likes of Osimhen, by the way. I think Inter is going to make it again. I think Juve will make it. The fourth one, I'm not too sure about. I would love to say AC Milan, but I think they've started really poorly, really poorly. You
Yeah.
saw the Champions League how bad they were. Even though they scored first, they were really bad against Liverpool.
That's
So
because people overrate Rafael.
yeah,
Bro
yeah,
gets
it's
Bro,
that,
Bro gets hyped because he smiles when he shoots.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not too sure who I'm going to put fourth, but I'm going to give an outside the box one, and especially from what I saw in the Champions League, give it to Atlanta. So I'll repeat that. So Juve, Napoli, Inter, and Atlanta. No particular order. The team I think will win it, I think it's going to be Inter Milan again.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they got the best squad.
You agree with my top four?
Yeah, yeah. I think they
Yeah.
will. Yeah, I think Inter. Yeah, that's what I was just looking at the league positions. They've drawn to 1-2. I think that's. I'm going to assume that's an anomaly. They got the best squad. So yeah, yeah. I agree with your top four to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Like I said, I don't think we're too familiar with the bottom half of the table, so I won't bother with a relegation. But I will ask you the overachievers and underachievers of this league. I think I'll start. I think overachievers, I think will be Napoli because I think everyone is expecting them to completely fall off without Osimhen. I think they're not expecting Kvaratskhelia to be as good as he was 2 seasons ago, although he's actually picked up so far anyway. So they will be my overachievers. I think the underachievers will be AC Milan. I expected a lot more from them. I really did, and the start that they had, what we saw in European football was poor, really poor. I don't know what happened in the transfer window. I don't recognize most of these players anymore anyway. So for me, AC Milan to underachieve.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Um, to be honest, Napoli could explode under Conte. Like, as in either way, they could be really good or really bad. He's already arguing with De Laurentiis, so I'm sure see. Lukaku, I think he will do well. Um, yeah, yeah, it could literally go either way for that.
Mhm. Uh, who do you think will be the league's top goal scorer? I've got one hot take for you. Lukaku.
Honest. Uh,
I'm looking at everyone else. I don't see maybe Martinez,
I
maybe
think I've
like
got to go with Martinez. I don't think there's literally anyone else in the league.
Lukaku. I think he's like you said, Conte may explode. Lukaku will explode equally as much. Lukaku.
Okay, okay, we'll see
That's
about
a lot of goals. People just like to highlight his misses, the one he's just moving like a stiff old thumb in the middle he can't turn, like a
that. I
double
agree.
full
He's
turn
good,
quicker than him. You know what I
but
mean? So, but
it
I think
just
you never
yeah.
know. With contest system, you'd be surprised. And finally, Ligue 1, the French league. I think we both agree with who we think is going to win it, unless
PSG.
there's going to be another surprise in the likes of Monaco or who is it last a couple of seasons ago?
Nice.
Lille. No, yeah, Lille.
Lille, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, any different with the winner? Sticking with PSG.
I think PSG win it.
Although don't forget Monaco, which I've mentioned before, have done really well this season. Even like we said, beat Barcelona in the Champions League.
No, no. Um, PSG are going to win it.
Mm.
Um,
You don't think they're going to miss Mbappe?
no. I think the rest of the team will be fine. I think they'll share the goal with Gonzalo Ramos and what's that geezer's name?
Barcola?
He'll go on the wing. Kolo Muani is what I'm thinking about.
Mwani. Uh, okay, then who will be your top four?
Well, top three for them, but
It's top four now.
uh,
No, you're right. It's top three. You're all right.
it'll be PSG, Monaco. I don't even know. I'm just
I,
going to say,
I put Marseille.
well,
Those are my three.
I think they're really bad. Everyone else is really bad. So I'm just going to say Marseille.
Yeah. I mean, here's me hoping that Marseille do get in the top three because I have receipts for Neil Maupay fan. Like, it really annoyed me that he went to Marseille. I was like, nah, stick around, man, because there's still much more to come for you. He's got so many receipts that like, his karma's not gone his way. He's bloody well escaped the country. So I'm just thinking, if no one's going to smash you in France, let's meet up in the Champions League and let's talk that. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Um, top goal scorer then.
Tell you, I really don't know.
Barcola.
No chance. No chance.
I don't think so.
No. You know what? Just for banter, I'm going to say Mason Greenwood.
I knew you were gonna say that. You know what? He's playing really well. That's the thing. He's killing
He
it at
scored 5 goals.
Marseille. He's killing it for Marseille. I'm looking at like United. I think he dropped the ball here. Like he should have kept a quality player. But hey, that's
No,
fine.
you can't keep him.
That's not my business, is it? My
It
business
is. It
is
is
about
literally your business. He's a criminal.
it's football
He's,
to me.
oh
I'm
my
thinking
God, I can't believe
I'm
someone's given him
seeing,
a
I'm
job.
seeing
It's
quality play
ridiculous.
on the field. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing United let yet another quality player leave. Ronaldo, Sancho, Greenwood.
Jesus
Top
Christ.
quality forwards have now left the club because of Manchester United. That's all I have to say on that. So keeping it as real as I can. But yeah, that's about it. We've covered all five leagues. We've covered what our predictions, the winners, top four, relegations, all of that. We've covered it all. So we'll revisit this video at the end of the season, see how much of this we got right. Here's me hoping that I got everything right and Jay was a clown on video. You know what I mean? You know them we're there. Yes. But thank you guys for watching. This is the Next Goal Wins podcast. We're back again. We're gonna provide you the content that we believe will be the best for you. Jay, any final words, my guy?
Goodbye.
Brilliant, man. Fantastic. Make sure to follow our socials. We've got a new TikTok, new Twitter, Instagram coming soon. Everything's in our YouTube banner and in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, my guys.